Hi, this is Jody from Poppywinkle, and today I want to test out an idea I have to find a shortcut for collaging. I don't know if it's going to work or not. We will figure it out together. But what I'm going to work on, this is my backyard nature journal, and I've been collaging over the chapter headers. And I did plants already, I did birds. Now I want to work on miscellaneous. So normally I would start a collage like this, little pieces of paper and maybe some stamping and, and it takes a little while. It takes a little while to do that. And so what I did, this is my idea. I took a photocopy of this. So I'm going to try starting my collage with this as a base and we'll see if it works. So I only printed this on plain copier paper. So my first problem is going to be wrinkling. So I'm just going to use a glue stick. So wrinkling won't be an issue. And then I'm going to Mod Podge over it so I'm sure that it's all secure because sometimes the glue sticks come unstuck in my experience. So anyway, I've cut this to size with a little bit of a border around all the edges. And now I'm going to start collaging. I'm trying to make some uniformity in the book by having each one of the labels kind of look the same. So here's plants, and then here's birds. And then, so now I did a similar one with miscellaneous. It's just a kind of a embossed handmade paper here, and then I used a paint chip as a real thin border, and then I colored that in with markers. And that's exactly what I did with, well, very similar to what I did with all the others. So then we're going to have kind of a consistent look. Here I've gathered some supplies. I have some washi tape in so many colors. My daughter got me those. I'm so excited to use them. A strip collage I had done. I usually use two colors mostly in my collages. So this I'm going to call brown and orange. So I got some orange things because we've got lots of brown. Some stickers, a little, I don't know, a little bobbly thing there. And I'm just going to start putting things around and see where this takes me. Right away, I'm drawn to this strip collage because it has so much texture. And since this is kind of fake texture in the background, maybe I can use some actual texture in the foreground. And it is made out of drywall tape. I have a whole video on how I made it, so I'll link to that. It's just so handy to have, and it's got sewing and all sorts of things going on. And so I ripped off a couple of pieces of that, and I'm just placing them around. I think I'm going to like that to start. And here I'm overlapping the edge a little bit because there's room, because I left a border on the actual page, and I like it when my things fall off the edge. So I'm not going to glue anything down yet. Not ready. So it's a good thing I didn't glue anything down because I changed my mind, as often happens. Here we go. I decided to put some washi tape down. And then as soon as I did that, I didn't want this to hang over. I wanted the washi tape to show under it. And then I wanted that to continue there. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to glue this down because I'm firm on that. And I'm not going to seal the edges too badly because sometimes I like to tuck things under, like something here I want to go under, but I'm going to glue it so at least it stays. Then I'm going to put this one over here a little bit so it hangs out over the edge. So I still got my edge hangover. And then this, look what I did. I added that little dangle there, which is super fun. And I think I'm ready to attach these 3 pieces. So I attached those 3 pieces right there with a glue stick. And then I decided I wanted a little more washi tape. And so I'm just going to, I used a little darker orange. I put one up here. And you can just tuck it under because it's only attached with a glue stick. And then the best way to end it down here, I want it to end right here. Best way to end it, don't mess with scissors, is just to take a craft knife and zoom right over there and you get a perfect cut right where you want it. And so then I was messing with, oh, and then I decided I wanted to see this in its natural environment. And so I used Mod Podge. I just put a little onto the actual collage itself. So on the back of this piece of paper, from here to here, maybe in a straight line. And then I lined it up where I wanted it and smoothed it out. And then I lifted it up and then put some more, a little bit more further down onto the page, onto the back, you know, onto this brown page. So after it was set in there, then I just slowly worked my way down. I went down that far and then smoothed and then maybe 2 more times and smoothed it all down. No wrinkles. It worked perfectly. I was careful with it because it's just paper and I didn't want wrinkles or anything, but that worked perfectly well. And I know it's solid in there. I made sure to go to the edges. And so it looks like a real part of that page. So I'm happy with that. Now I'm just messing with some stickers. I like to make these seem like they're integrated in, and a good way to do that is to blur the edges with things. So I used a little double-sided tape to just put these things around until I see where I want them to go. So I'm going to blur some edges here, and I thought that was cute. I like the white. Sometimes I don't like the white on the stickers, but since this is such bright white, I'm going to want some white down here too. I'm going to leave that sticker edge white to match that white. So we'll see. So here's where I am so far. I committed to this and I thought that looked like it was wearing a little flower in its hair. So I did the same with this lady. I gave her a little flower in her hair. And so I committed to all that. I put a butterfly up there. And so I feel like this strip collage here is kind of integrated into it. I also covered the edge with one of my relatives who I gave some wings. Down here I glued this on and that integrates this strip collage. I put a little half of a stamp up here on top of it, and I think this I just taped down. That's such a help. You take a tiny little piece of double-sided tape and it just puts it where you want it without it flopping around, but you can move it. So here we are. I added a few more stickers and then I added my favorite thing in the world, these Tim Holtz rub-on stickers. I'm not sure what they're called, rub-ons. And they come out so much darker than stamps. And they adhere to anything. You just rub it on and you can tell exactly where you're putting it because it's on a see-through thing. And I just think they add such a nice touch at the end of a collage. That's when I use them anyway. I forget what they're called. I'll link to them if he still sells them. But anyway, there's the, I'm going to call that my rough draft. I always wait a while. I'm not going to Mod Podge over it or anything. That's my rough draft, and I will, I'm sure, add and subtract a little bit tomorrow, and then I'll Mod Podge over the whole thing. And then I want to add some of these, my new little favorite thing to do. That's, I can't tell, I don't know if you can tell, that's shiny orange. And it was washi tape, and I put it on an index card, so it had some substance to it, and then I just cut out some holes. And so I'll use, you know how people use little dots? I'm going to use that as little dots, but I want to Mod Podge first because I don't want to dull the shine with the Mod Podge. So anyway, that's my rough draft. I did not miss the texture in the background at all. You know, there's still enough going on there that I'm perfectly happy with that. So I think that was a good experiment. It worked. So if you ever have some collage background that you really like, take a photocopy of it or a PDF of it, and so you can use it again and again. Here's my finished page. I decided not to change anything, actually. I Mod Podged over it, and two things about Mod Podging. When I colored that in with markers, I used alcohol markers. And so I knew that it would not run. If you're using another kind of alcohol marker, or another kind of marker, make sure you test it before you Mod Podge over it, because you don't want to get to this point and then smear it. I don't know what markers will smear, but I bet some would. So think about that. And if that's the case, if you get to that point, just skip that. You know, just go around. Don't ruin your whole project. So then another thing, these little dangles made Mod Podging interesting. So I went over this part and then let it dry. And then I just put these guys up, and then I just did the rest. So that was an unanticipated little challenge, but it worked. And then the only different thing I added was these little circles, my little shiny circles. I just did two lines of 3. And I think that's my finished collage. So hope you give it a try with that background, and hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching.